Happy Good Friday, y'all. We're going to talk about Good Friday. Today's the day. Let's discuss it. Let's break it down. How are we feeling? What's going on?
Let's reflect.
Let's reflect.
Sunum bonum, peace be with you.
So today is Good Friday. This is probably my favorite Mass of all year is Thursday with the washing of the feet. But Good Friday was always the holiday, even when I wasn't when I was going to the Protestant churches or when I was a young kid and maybe I didn't understand Catholicism, but I was confirmed in 8th grade. Good Friday always meant something really big to me. And I think the greatest act of love is giving your life up for someone else. I've got a lot of family that are military, a lot of family that are cops. And when you're willing to risk your life, listen, I'm an artist. I help people through stories and I teach children and adults with special needs, dance, drama, and martial arts. But there is something when you have a career where you're risking your life and Good Friday is like, and I talked about this in another video, like with Risa, my girlfriend asked me, she went in the church for the first time and she's non-Catholic and she saw Christ on the cross. And she asked me, why is it his miracles? And I'm like, but Christ became sin. He solved everything by giving up his life.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the most important thing. There's prophets that performed miracles, right? Miracles isn't the fascinating thing. And even when Jesus performed miracles, people didn't necessarily even believe it. They said, like Josephus in his writings, he was a Jewish magician.
Yeah.
He was an exorcist of demons, right? So when you look at the cross, look at this double cross here.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that Christ did. He solved the problems. He's, as Mel Gibson would say, the ultimate superhero. And I'm sorry. I know you love Captain America. I'm sorry, but Jesus is the ultimate superhero. Anyway, sorry, Tom. Go on.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that you brought up your girlfriend making that comment. So people who are outside the faith,
because she was disturbed.
Yeah,
by
they
it,
find
Tom,
it kind of weird. And my girlfriend said the same thing. She's like, "Why do you have your dead God hanging for everyone to see, naked and beat up and bloody and nails through his hands?" Like, it's really weird. Like when you think about it from an outsider, but then it's like, yeah, like it is weird. But then you think about like what the true meaning is. So everything that Ray said, like giving up your life, making that sacrifice, that's voluntary, by the way. So, God the Father didn't have to do this. Like he doesn't need anything from us, right? He doesn't require, let's remember that. He doesn't require anything from us. He's doing it out of voluntary act of love. And I forget what the verse is, but the verse is, you love each other only because I have loved you first.
And I'll fact check it and I'll make sure
we'll get
it's on
that
the
verse.
video.
I know, I heard it. I know it's real, but I just don't know the exact verse, but we'll put it up on the screen.
And even I want to throw at you, whenever you enter a Catholic church, whether it's the Latin Rite or it's Byzantine Rite, when or maybe not Byzantine, but at least Novus Order and the Latin Rite, the priest will say, on the night he was betrayed. And that always would hit me.
Entered willingly into his passion. Willingly,
Yeah.
So that's
like
what I was
those
saying.
Two lines, yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing because I think about that. I'm like, yeah, he willingly entered into his passion. It's quite profound. It's amazing,
And even too, like when Christ was praying in the garden, a lot of people debate the Trinity and stuff, but you have to understand, Jesus is fully human and fully God, but he's becoming sin. He's about to take on everything that Tom and I have sinned, which I don't know if you want to confess.
I mean, I haven't done reconciliation is 2 weeks away, but
I don't know if you want to confess
it's good. It's
now,
Good Friday. So
anyway, the point is, we're big sinners. Tom and I are the reason Jesus died on the cross. I'm sorry to tell everyone, it wasn't really the Romans or the Jews that killed Jesus.
It was us.
Tom and I did it.
Yeah, specifically.
And if you're going to rebel and say that's not true, you need to go humble yourself, look at your life, and realize you're not perfect. Nobody is. And this crucifixion it solves all the problems of sin. And it also, when you ask yourself, why did God allow all these people to die? Or what about that child that was touched? Or what about this? What about that? If it was a really good God, why does he allow suffering? Well, at least with the Christian, with the Catholic theology, our God suffered personally. Today, Good Friday, he suffered personally. He related to us and suffered. And unlike other religions that avoid suffering, and we do things to avoid, we are told to pick up our cross today. We are told to remember that, all the great saints, we're going to suffer. And that's life. But explain peace be with you.
The phrase peace be with you?
Peace be with you. Think about it.
Yeah, we're wishing peace, not happiness, because I said this in another video before. We all go through suffering. Everyone knows this, right? Struggle isn't the salvation. Everybody suffers. God suffers with us. Like God willingly entered into suffering with us. So when we say peace be with you, we're not saying happiness be with you or joy be with you or no suffering at all. Like we're saying while we're here on earth struggling, peace be with you in that suffering. That's how I interpret it.
When Paul is locked up or Peter, they're at peace when they're in the most intense suffering. And tonight probably we'll be watching The Passion, of course. The Passion of Christ, one of the greatest theological movies ever done. And even the little notes that Mel Gibson does in The Passion. Mel Gibson's just excellent, and I'm excited for the resurrection. Let's hope that it's going to be good and everything, and I know because he's taking on a big toll. But why don't you talk real quick about your church, what you were discussing? Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I know at the time that we're filming this, it's not Good Friday, but at the time that we're releasing this, it's going to be Good Friday. So during this time, my church specifically, we have a bunch of statues in our church of a bunch of saints. We have one of Mary and Joseph. We have one of Benedict in the corner and Augustine and a bunch of different little statues everywhere. So leading up to the Triduum, right? So that's Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and then Easter Sunday. We cover, I think in the week or two preceding the Triduum, we cover the statues, right? So why do we do that? We cover all the statues except for the main crucifix above the altar. We have a massive life-size crucifix, like most Catholic churches have this above the altar. That's the only thing that stays uncovered. Why? Because you're thinking about it, that's the only thing that matters during the Triduum, right? The only thing that matters is what Christ did, because this is what everything stems off of. Christ dying is like the seed, and then the church and the tradition and the magisterium and scripture branches off of that. That one act of penance, that one act of, I guess it's an act of penance, right? Act of love, that you could call it that. That's what spreads from there. So that's why we cover all the statues, the plants. Like we have during Christmas and Advent, we have the Christmas trees and poinsettias. But during ordinary time, we have other plants there as well. But the plants become dried, decayed looking plants. But that's deliberate, right? Because we're leading up to this intense time of, and that's what Lent is really. It's like an intense time of cleansing and training. I know Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt say that's like a training. So this time is very intense, and the singing in the church gets very quieted down. It's very mellow. You know what I mean? So even the style of worship leading up to the Triduum becomes very serious. It's very it holds a weight. There's a weight in the air almost. I don't know if that's making sense. What I'm saying. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting. And again, I would love to look at other churches too. I know we talked about church hopping during this time to see what other churches do. But yeah,
I believe. I mean, I got to look this up. But Tom, I'm pretty sure the Holy Thursday, the washing of the feet mass, all of the churches are lit up.
Yes.
Because it's at the Garden of Gethsemane. We're actually told after the washing of the feet to stay in the church and pray like Christ, was praying at that.
It's kind of like Eucharistic
we
adoration.
might want to go church hopping, and if we do that, we
it's kind of like adoration afterwards. Because if you know about Eucharistic adoration, you do that too. You sit in that kind of reverence. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Really looking forward to it. But anything else you want to add? Yeah.
Happy Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday.
Sunum bonum.
Pick up your cross.
Peace be with you.